Hello, my name is Lori Bourgeot. My husband and I are both Oxford High School alumni and parents of both a graduate of Oxford High School and a current student of Oxford High School. I'd like to thank you all for coming out here today. We've overcome some obstacles making this day happen, including having our previously scheduled event for Tuesday canceled over the weekend. Thankfully, the American Legion Hall was available to rent us the space with only a few days' notice. We want to thank the American Legion for allowing us to host our event here today, and a huge thank you for their support and services they offer our veterans as well. I'm here today representing the parents of Oxford Community Group. We're a group of parents and community members who assembled to support the students and staff of Oxford High School after the tragedy that took place on November 30th. We had one thing in common. We felt our school's administration and school board needed to do more to ensure the safety of our students and staff. Between all of us, we've sent hundreds of emails, attended dozens of meetings and conference calls. We've often spoke up and attended nearly every school board meeting since November 30th, asking for answers, cooperation, and change for Oxford. Our first official action as a group was submitting a letter to the school board and administration asking 7 questions, ranging from when will the promised third-party investigation happen to what is the district's position on mandatory reporting. The board gave us a response to some of those questions at the February 22nd board meeting, but we're still awaiting answers. Members of our group have had meetings with our current superintendent, with our school board members, our prosecution team, Representatives Slotkins and Stevens, Senator Bayer, Attorney General Nessel, Governor Whitmer's team, and the University of Michigan's National Center for School Safety, or the NCSS, and numerous survivors of similar tragedies in other schools. Our school board promised to hire a third party to complete an investigation into what happened leading up to and on November 30th. In December, they stated it would be done as quickly as possible. In February, they shifted, stating they can't do the investigation as soon as they thought because the prosecutor would not allow them to do it as it would affect justice in the criminal trials. Shortly after, the prosecutor issued a statement explaining they advised the school's attorney that their office is not asking anyone to delay those efforts. Then the school board shifted again. Now they're saying they will not do an investigation until all the trials are completed. They even let us know the reason during a school board meeting, which is because they feel it'll bankrupt the school district. To be clear, they already confirmed they set the money aside to pay for the investigation. So the cost is not what would cause a bankruptcy. So what else could this mean? We feel the answer is clear. The school board knows an investigation will show the mistakes the administration and board made leading up to November 30th. And rather than identifying the security breakdowns and policy holes that need to be corrected to ensure our students, our teachers, our staff are safe, they're protecting themselves. In other words, Oxford's Board of Education is more concerned with protecting themselves than protecting our children, and that's concerning to us. Additionally, they have written in court documents that their qualified immunity means that they, quote, were not required to protect plaintiffs, meaning the students, from violence or other mishaps that are not directly attributable to the conduct of its employees, end quote. In other words, our school is saying they owe no duty to protect our students from harm by anyone other than those who are on the school's payroll. Therefore, we are calling on our state government to clarify governmental immunity doesn't excuse our schools, their employees, who we're required to send our children to, from protecting these students from violence while under their care. We lost 4 bright young lives, and our school feels the state law doesn't require them to protect them from harm while in their care. This is unacceptable and requires immediate action. We're calling on Oxford School District to complete an investigation immediately. We know Attorney General Nessel offered to use state resources to complete an investigation at no cost to the district. This was not to create criminal charges, but to use those findings to identify the security breakdowns that need to be corrected to ensure that not only Oxford, but all Michigan schools are safe. We feel no school district should be able to pass on completing an investigation when a tragedy like this occurs. This should be mandatory by state or federal government to be completed within months of happening. We can't fix the problem if we don't identify the cause. We're calling on Oxford School District to start working with experts in science-based research and data before the new school year, like University of Michigan's NCSS. Our students already lost so much due to the pandemic. Right when things started to feel more normal, our children started to benefit from their schooling again, this happened. Yes, many of our children are back in school, but that doesn't mean they're back to normal learning. Working with the NCSS, a group that created a return to school plan and attempted to contact our superintendent to assist with implementing that plan, would do a lot to restore our faith and trust in the safety and security decisions our school is making. We do not trust that they are working with enough of the correct experts. We wonder if one school resource officer and 2 security guards that we currently have contracted to be at the high school throughout the day, which is the same number we had on November 30th, is enough. We know our district is working with mental health experts, but they have not disclosed any relationship with school safety experts. Our children tell us they do not feel safe at school. They don't feel safe using the restroom. They don't feel safe eating in the lunchroom. They don't feel safe without having security patrolling each quadrant individually throughout the day. School safety experts who have put years and years of research into how to implement a safe and comfortable environment would show us that our school is making the best decisions for school and staff. We are also calling on other districts to research school safety experts and start implementing a new, safer way to educate all Michigan children. We highly recommend you reach out to the NCSS and see how you can help increase your school safety. Let's change the way we educate our Michigan children and be a model state for the rest of the nation on how to avoid these tragedies. We are also calling on the Oxford School District to implement a more comprehensive and cooperative threat assessment policy. Friday's threats sent some of our students even further back in their healing process. I don't know if the school did the right thing by not going into lockdown Friday like the surrounding districts did. What I do know is the school lost our trust in them in November, and they haven't gained it back yet. A threat assessment policy should involve a way to track behaviors and previous concerns. We know our threat was from a student that teachers have been raising concerns on for weeks or more. The communications we received after the tragedy said there was no previous concerns, no discipline records on that student. How can we trust the threat assessment process when we see this is what happened? Working with a group like the NCSS would create and implement a comprehensive and thorough process we can all understand and trust. We've been asking the board to allow us to help, work with us, create a board made up of staff, parents, students, law officials, and school safety experts, so we can all assist with creating and implementing a secure threat assessment process we can all trust, support, understand, and feel comfortable with. Finally, I'd like to add that we need our local and state government to support us in this journey. We asked the Education Committee in the House to pass SB 940 and 941 to waive Oxford's instructional time and further funding. Adding days to our school year will not benefit our students and staff who desperately need the time off to heal. In summary, we're not here today saying everything's bad. We appreciate the extra support from our local police. We know we have some of the best teachers in the nation that need our administration and board to support them, to help them return to focusing on educating their students. We aren't coming here with pitchforks in hand demanding criminal charges. We're asking for cooperation, support, and these 3 main security goals. 1, implement and complete an investigation immediately to identify the appropriate security measures. Work with school safety experts at the NCSS who have attempted to communicate with you in the past. Reach out to them. 2, immediately start a public and transparent update of the school safety plan, which includes input from the best experts we have, our students and our teachers, to restore a sense of safety and stop this learning loss. Allow our students to resume their education and our teachers to focus on making that happen. And 3, implement an updated school safety plan using the results of that investigation prior to the new school year to bring change for Oxford and serve as a guide for all school districts. Next, I'd like to welcome Jeff and Griffin Jones to speak.
Thank you, Lori.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jeff Jones and I am the parent of 2 students at Oxford Community Schools. It is my hope that speaking here today, we will begin the process of a transparent and a non-biased review of Oxford Community Schools' current safety policy. As we stand here today, it's been 5 months since our community suffered this horrific tragedy. To date, we are still looking not only for answers as to what was lacking in our school safety policies, but an amended plan for moving forward so we can be proactive in the safety and well-being of both students and staff. It has been made clear by the county prosecutor that there is no conflict of interest in conducting a transparent review of Oxford Schools' current safety policy. It is imperative that the Oxford School Board give us the independent, transparent review that they promised us immediately, as well as an updated school safety plan and code of conduct prior to the start of the 2022-23 school year. Students need hope that next year can be productive, but that will not happen unless Oxford School Board immediately starts a public process to review and update the Oxford Schools safety procedures. Groups such as the NCSS out of U of M, the National Center for School Safety, have reached out to our administration with recommendations for adjusted school policies, which would implement evidence-based mental health services that are necessary to restore a sense of safety that would allow for our students and staff to resume their education. The school should consider utilizing these offers from groups such as this, as they offer fact-driven resources for schools. That's what they do. These kids need our help. They need to feel we really hear them and that we value their input. Daily, these students need to be picked up from school because they don't feel safe. And daily, there are medical issues, as well as many students who don't feel comfortable using restrooms or even to eat in a cafeteria. All of these issues prevent learning from occurring, as students cannot focus when they're constantly worried for their own safety. The students are the most qualified to tell you what they need to know. However, that cannot be done in a 5-question multiple-choice survey that was handed out. Communication between Oxford Community Schools and families has been lacking. Our only option as parents is to attend school board meetings in which we're given 5 minutes to speak, and you get no response to any of your questions. Many of us have also tried to communicate via email, phone calls, and have yet still to receive any responses on that. Relationships require communication, and in order to have a working relationship between students, parents, and the administration, open dialogue is necessary. I feel this is an area that the district needs to improve on. Just let the students talk. Ask the students what they need. Ask the students what would make them feel safe. Let them be included in the conversation. They need to feel they are taken seriously as the young adults that they are. Like, these kids are amazing and they're resilient, and what they have accomplished in such a short amount of time is remarkable. There is power in being an Oxford Wildcat. We are in a unique position to educate and make change so that this does not happen again, not just in our community, but in all the communities around us. I implore Oxford Community Schools to give us the independent, transparent review that was promised to us, because it is time for change for Oxford. I'd like to say thanks to the American Legion Post 108 for allowing us to be here today and for giving us this opportunity to be heard. I will now pass the mic on to 11th grader Griffin Jones, who will give you his thoughts.
Hi, my name's Griffin Jones. I'm a junior at Oxford High School. I feel Oxford has failed in keeping the student body safe. They have failed to show that they care about us as people and individuals. They have added almost nothing since we've returned back. Every day I pray that whatever conversation I have with my friends or anyone else isn't my last with them or my last conversation ever. Every day I pray that I won't die on the high school floor because of the lack of caring they have shown towards me and my friends, the whole student body, and teachers. Clear backpacks and checking IDs have done almost nothing. They have spent more energy trying to prove their false innocence, which everyone knows isn't true, than protect students and staff. Theoretically, if another shooting was to happen, people would most likely die, if not be severely injured. I hate waking up certain days because of the anxiety and stress and lack of safety and the thought gets to me sometimes in class and I can't focus. I don't care about school half the time because most of the time I'm concerned for my safety, my teacher's safety, and my friends. Even something as simple as the shut of a door too hard or like kids running the class can set it off and make it hard to think. The school acts like nothing happened and they do this by not adding anything to make us feel safe. I also think the biggest problem here is who is in charge. These people have called the students liars, the parents liars, the police liars from the beginning. They have been offered help from outside organizations to make the school safer and to help students readjust and feel safe when going back to school. I feel like I'm alone and my own school is my own enemy. All I can tell myself every morning is I hope nothing happens or I hope I'm in the right place at the wrong time, which I hate having to live with. There have been a few threats made to the school and others in the recent weeks, and all the other schools showed that they cared about their students' lives and went into lockdown and tried to keep kids calm. Oxford failed to do that. We weren't made aware about any of the threats until 7th hour, which was our last hour that day. And had something gone down, we would have been in the same state as the 30th. And their excuse for putting our lives at risk, all 1,800 of us, was that they didn't want to re-traumatize the students. So they'd rather not do the bare minimum than keep all of these kids safe, all of these teachers safe, all these other workers safe. Students and parents grow more angry and disappointed as time goes on. Every 2 or 3 weeks, there's just another example of them failing at their jobs. The fact that I have to take a day off school to come up here and say the speech is half the problem. I shouldn't have to miss school to feel safe. I have to be there every day, and I'm forced. That's messed up. I understand that it's a traumatic experience and my life won't ever be the same again, but at least, I can make it feel safe again. All I'm asking is that they do the simple solution and put safety precautions that students have been asking for since we've been back, or accept the resources that have been offered and handed to them from third-party sources that have offered to check the safety, put in the proper measures, but they haven't returned any of the emails or calls. If they just accept these, it would make everyone's life easier. All I'm asking is to feel safe in my own school again, that I'm forced to be at every single day.
Next, I'd like to welcome Mike Aldred.
Thank you all for being here. My name is Mike Aldred. I'm a parent here in Oxford. As you can tell, there's a lot of emotion on here. I'm not going to be any different. We've lost 4 amazing souls. Our children have been affected. Our community's been affected. No one should go through this. I'm going to start by reading an email from a student to the school board asking for help. I'm sorry. I just want to talk to you about some concerns I had. First, I feel like the backpack searches do not do enough. I'm not saying they need to be thoroughly searched, but I feel having the administrator just kind of glance at a backpack or even give it a pretty good look does not do enough. I feel there are ways, if someone truly wanted to, that someone could sneak a weapon into our school. The other concern I have is that within the first few days of returning to school, I had reasons to be late for both a doctor's appointment and a meeting with coaches. January 24th, I arrived 30 minutes late. January 25th, I arrived a few hours late for those reasons I mentioned. Both times, I'd come in late, walked up to the door, pressed the button to be let in. I wasn't asked a simple question on who I was or what I was doing. They buzzed me in. I signed in, walked right into the school and went to class. Along with that, the clear backpack that I was provided was not even searched. I hope these concerns are taken into consideration, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. The administration that this letter went to did respond, only to say they can't legally inspect bags. So in short, and the reason why we are here is for the 4 families that have lost, the additional families that have been injured and hurt, and all of the children of Oxford. We are here for the students only, not as parents, but we are here to speak for our children in this community. Too many Oxford students are struggling with learning due to continued worries about safety procedures in Oxford schools, leading to learning loss and unaddressed mental issues. Mental health is a very big topic these days, and our children are struggling to find that help within hours away from here because there's so many people looking for counseling. No aid other than the parents seeking out, trying to find these counselors. Students do not feel safe and are struggling to learn. Notices about investigation of new threats and rumors are devoid of details on process or findings. No one knows if Oxford's safety procedures are proper and what updates are required, so that day can never happen again for us, as well as other schools across the country. This cannot continue to be an outlet. Things must change before the new year. Parents and students, we're here today to ask Oxford School Board to finally start listening to the most important member of the community, the students. Begin clearly communicating about the reality of safety and mental health issues that crop up each day for our precious children that attend our schools now and into the future. Students need hope that next year can be a productive and benefiting year, but that will not happen unless Oxford School Board immediately starts a public process to review and update Oxford Schools' safety procedures. There's 3 specific items that we're asking for help on. Our students deserve. I'm going to echo what my fellow parents have already said, but in closing, here are those points again. Immediately, hire a new independent school safety expert. Pick one. We're not here to tell you who and how to do it. We want it done. And the 4 families who lost deserve it. One such entity is the University of Michigan's National Center for School Safety, to review Oxford students' safety procedures and how they were followed in November of 2021, to make recommendations for the next school year and include students in this decision and ongoing communication. Immediately, number 2, immediately start a public and transparent update of Oxford school safety plans in which parents, but most importantly, students, can offer input. Changes, which include more consistent access to mental health services, are necessary to restore a sense of safety next year that ends learning loss and allows students to resume whatever normal education means these days here in Oxford. And lastly, implement and update updated school safety plan prior to the 2022-2023 school year, which can bring real change for Oxford while serving as a guide to all the other schools. Oxford's experience must be a catalyst for change for all other schools in the nation so this doesn't happen. I thank you all very much for listening and being here.
All right, we want to thank Jeff and Griff and Lori and Mike for speaking out today. We are going to break off for one-on-one interviews, but we wanted to offer the opportunity for a few general questions from the media while they're still up at the podium. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Anybody have any thoughts about the school putting in metal detectors? Have you guys discussed that, or is that an idea you'd like, anything you'd like to see happen?
I personally think it's a good idea because it's like they aren't crazy expensive, so like they can afford it, and it would, you know, even if it was expensive, if it saves one life, that's worth it.
So in reference to meetings we had as parents led by Oxford administration, the concern was not the cost and implementation of the metal detectors. It was the logistics of manning them. That was the answer we have.
Jim, Mike, how many, you're a parent, how many students do you have in this school?
I have two.
All in high school?
That's correct.
You know what grade level?
My son's a junior and my daughter's a freshman.
Any other questions right now?
Yeah, I have a question. I am Jennifer with the Detroit News. You've described frustration from having phone calls unanswered, emails not returned, and you want communication. There are board meetings. It doesn't sound like you can really get anything there. Did you like the town hall format? Did that work? And do you think that's what you need next? Could you describe what communication you'd like? How will it look? What would work for you guys to actually get the district to hear you and hear from them? Do you have any thoughts on what this would look like?
I'll say, first of all, with the town hall that we had in the very beginning before they opened school back up, it was a nice event, and they should have held one for our children. We sent them emails, calls. Our kids sent emails to counselors, to the school board principals, saying, where's our town hall? Show me what the school looks like before I have to step foot back in there. Let me prepare for this. And their answer was, our experts say, we can't do that. It'll traumatize the students. I'm not sure which experts those were. They won't tell us who they're referring to in that. But when it comes down to a more collaborative relationship is what we're looking for. Create boards, security boards, have it made up of some parents, police, teachers, staff, students, especially students. I know there's at least one student group that has banded that's working towards school safety. They should help initiate more of those. They should have different goals. What do you want to see for security? What do you want to see for threat assessment? What do you want your normal school day to look like? And they should be holding small group sessions with students. I know that Representative Slatkin came out here and had a small meeting with some students. When our students that went there came home, it was the first time I saw my son smile since November. He said, somebody listened to me. My principal won't do it. The school board won't do it. I can't get a meeting with Principal Wolf, no matter how hard I try. But Representative Slatkin came to Oxford and talked to me. That's what they're looking for. That's what our kids need. They need to be heard. They need to be given that forum. And that's more important than me being able to speak. But yes, I'd love for them to allow parents to be a part of a board to talk about what security should look like as well. Thank you.
Is St. Jean Hessel going to be here tomorrow, and when is that event going to be?
I believe that's Monday.
That's Monday. should be coming out Monday, the next, we're not sure what it is. It sounds like she's just coming out to listen and hear what people have to say. I'd love her to come out and say, we're going to do an investigation. That's what most of us would like, that I know of, people, parents and students that I've spoken to. Our priority is getting an investigation done, no matter how it has to be done.
The event
We'll
is
accept
already
it.
full.
Yeah, the event was full.
Shortly after receiving the email about Dana Nessel's visit to Oxford, a number of parents that I'm friends with, were connected with, tried to register for that and got an automated email saying the event is already at capacity. Then find a new venue. Find capacity. You're limiting the voice of the community to someone who's coming here to help drive change. Find capacity.
Where and when is that going to take place?
The Legacy Center,
You know what time?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
PM?
Yeah.
No media is allowed, by the way, unfortunately.
Lily?
Yeah, they said no recording, no media.
Hi. You mentioned that mental health resources are scarce. The district has said, repeatedly that they're providing mental health resources for students. Can you tell me, why that's not happening and how that's not happening?
The resources they've given, you can talk to counselors, and then there's therapy dogs, but that's it. It's just those two things. And dogs, they just come and go out of the classroom.
Is it the same counselor?
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned a few times the University of Michigan organization that you would like the district to talk to. Did they supply you with some ideas or a report, and you said they sent it to the district, and you know that the district rejected it? You have a confirmation, or can you talk about that a little bit?
I know that the NCSS created a return to school plan. I know that they sent it to the then current superintendent, and they received no response. Through my reaching out to other survivors from tragedies in Parkland, I was in touch with another person who was a survivor student from Parkland and is now researches and works on school safety. And I asked her if she had heard of the NCSS at the time. She said, yeah, I helped them create a return to school plan for Oxford. That was the first time I knew they did it. And they've just never reached back out to them. I know that the school's been working with some experts. They have Easter seals coming out for some mental health, and we appreciate that. But they aren't telling us of any security experts and school safety experts that they're working with. We know that multiple organizations have reached out and attempted to help and are either getting no response or no thank yous. The NCSS, though, has been amazing and actually gave us a meeting. Our Parents of Oxford group let us do a Zoom call with them, went in there and they talked to us about their organization, and then they listened to us to find out what it is we need, and then we'll be having a follow-up meeting with them as well to hear their feedback on that. So we've been working with them pretty closely. And our attempt is to get Oakland County schools to start working with them. Let's get 10 schools in Oakland County working with them this year, 10 more next year. Let's keep it going. Let's make Oakland County the model for how schools should be, how you can be safe, comfortable, and have the students at top priority.
The district mentioned they're hiring a recovery coordinator and some other jobs for student mental health or student wellness. Does this give you any reason to be hopeful? Do you know anything about those jobs?
I don't.
I know that they're adding new positions. I don't have fact on some of the things. I've heard some rumors about certain positions not being and being. I don't have any fact on that, so I'm not comfortable making a statement on it. But I will say we welcome any and every additional resource they can give our students and for mental health and safety.
We'll have one more question from the Oakland Press.
Yeah, Matt Farr from the Oakland Press. You guys, and anybody can answer this, you guys have had a lot of interaction and talks amongst yourselves, parents, students, and things like that. If it gets to the point, or from what you've heard, and on any scale that you want to measure this, how many parents and students are talking about possibly either sending their kids to another school district next year or moving out completely if they do not change anything going into the 22-23 school year?
I would say about like 30 to 45% in between there. Like I got not like half, but almost half. Half my friends are like, I might leave, I might not. But that's where my friends are and me.
I can tell you it's a very tough decision for our kids. If you have a child who, first of all, online learning is difficult for some of them. I have a student who that's very difficult for him. So it's not even really an option for us. So if you can't do that, plus, I mean, just the loss of comfort from being around their peers by doing that, and the isolation, we don't need our kids to get any more isolated. So that making that choice, some people are, but it's a very difficult choice. And then if you consider changing your kid to another school, what do students do? They run in hallways, they laugh, they yell, they shut their lockers louder than they meant to. And for our kids, that means run. Something's happening. Danger around the corner. And so to make that choice to go to another school district, or they stay at Oxford where they're surrounded by peers who understand their trauma responses, who they get the comfort and support from, who know them, understand them, and have been through it with them. The best choice is to stay at Oxford for many of our families. But we have to that's why we're fighting for the security increases. We have to get the school district and the school buildings to have our kids' safety as top priority so that they can continue to heal in the best environment. Thank you.